Hey, welcome to Bryan and Bryan. I am Bryan with a Y, and today, as promised, we are going to build a plan. Now, as opposed to popular opinion out there, this does not take a 6-week course or a lot of time. It should be fairly simple. A nice little business review, just like we did. We walked through 2 simple questions: what's working well, what's not. Easy to answer, really simple. Okay, you put what's working well, you put what's not. Then you give it to your staff, what's working well, what's not. You'll discuss it. There may be some programs or services that you offer that just aren't working. They're really not providing you the return on investment that you need. So you might want to look at getting rid of those. However, you might have identified some things that you can fix by getting certain problems handled and actually making that program move over to the what's working well column. And hopefully you went through the process. The whole entire thing from start to finish should take you about 3 hours. And you won't do it all at one time. I suggest break it into the simple parts like I did. Ask yourself the questions, then give it to your staff. Now, you don't give it to all your staff. Part-time staff, really, if they're a really good part-time staff and they're really, knowledgeable of programming and gymnastics and things like that, then I would give it to them. But if it's just part-time staff that's coming in for a paycheck, and you know what I'm talking about, we all have them. They're just coming in for a paycheck, and they do a good job, but they do a good job of what they do, and then they're out of there. Then I wouldn't waste my time getting too much of that opinion. But if it's good part-time staff, get their opinion, then have a meeting, short meeting, just discuss. Because you might find that a number of the items you'll be on the same page with, especially things that are not working well. Really surprise yourself on things that are not working well. And it's not just you identified it, everyone identified it, but sometimes telling the boss that something sucks is not exactly an easy thing to do, and bringing it up sometimes leads to an argument and some dissension there. So this process allows you to have a more open communication about really how people are feeling and seeing the programs, and you can move forward from there. So we looked at what we learned, and you discussed it with your staff. You've identified the things that are working well, and then you identified the things that are not. Now you've asked the question, why? Why are they not working well? And it may have been you need better staff. And I know sometimes you need better staff. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's different staff. Maybe that staff doesn't have the right personality for that particular program that they're trying to fit themselves into. Maybe the staff needs more training. If you need more training, a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of staff training opportunities out there. However, I do know in our industry, everybody is looking desperately for staff. And not a lot of gymnastics coaches out there. Not a lot of people wanting to get in the field. We have kind of a breakdown in our career paths. We don't have one. I spoke at Congress last year on that particular topic because I think that's a detriment to our entire sport. But we can talk about that another time. So you identified staff training. Maybe it's staff training. Maybe the program just doesn't fit your gym. Maybe your facility isn't up to snuff, and maybe you don't have the proper space. Maybe it's the equipment. Maybe it's the demographics around your gym just don't support that particular type of program. And you had to look at it, and you had to give a zero sum. You had to give 100 or a 0. Was it working? Was it not? And hopefully you identify why. So in looking at that, you start building your plan. And your plan is not difficult. My suggestion to you, if you are a digital person and you do not like to use paper and everything, I suggest that you get a program on your phone or your tablet called Planner Pro. Okay, it's free, but I would suggest getting the yearly version for $4 or $5, and get Planner Pro. Planner Pro is like a Franklin Covey planner, but it's a digital version. But it has the calendar, it has your task list, and it has your notes all in one simple app. And it'll go across platforms and everything like that. It doesn't, or it didn't, and I haven't checked it recently because I use it on my phone mostly. It didn't have a version that went on the computer. However, most of us run off our phone or a tablet anyway. So Planner Pro. But you take your Planner Pro and you open it up and you start putting down tasks that need to get done. And I would suggest making each of these items that I'm going to identify a project. Okay, and you can do that in the Pro version of Planner Pro. So marketing issues. Marketing. What are you going to need to do? Staff training, equipment, scheduling. Okay, did you get that? Marketing, I put it up there first. That's the first thing you're going to do. And I've given some hints to how you can really blow up your summer programming. I'll go over that at the end of this video, but marketing, okay, then staff training, equipment, scheduling. Very simple. That's your projects. Now you go under each tab. Okay, let's start at scheduling. Look at the times that you're offering the programs that you're wanting to get handled. Do not, my absolute number one piece of advice, and I learned this from years of doing sales and other businesses, and people always say, hey, go after the low-hanging fruit. Go after the low-hanging fruit. I'm going to tell you, don't go after the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit you're going to get anyways. Let's go after what is not working well, but you identified how you can turn the tide and make it fit into your program and do something to make that program work well. So those programs, those are the ones you look at. Scheduling. Start with their scheduling. Okay. Does it fit the time that people are wanting to take that class, take that program, do that, participate in that service that you're offering? Sometimes you're just not offering at the times people want. How do you do this? Go look at your competition. Go do a little research. What times are they offering classes? If they're offering classes and following you, then you might have a little bit of a problem, and it may not be a scheduling problem. So you can move on, but you might identify that there's some times that you might want to try offering one of those classes and at a different time and just see if you can shift the market. Then equipment. Take a good assessment of your equipment and your facility. Okay, do you have what it takes to give people excellent service? They can come to your gym and see your team, and you can have the best team in the world, and man, you can really be kicking ass. But if they walk into your gym and they're a new person to gymnastics, they got a little tiny tot person and they want to learn gymnastics and they're so excited, and you have no equipment for preschoolers, then you're kind of screwed. So you might want to look at equipment and gym space. Is it adequate? Okay. Is it something that is sellable? Is it something that's marketable? Can you take pictures and do crazy, outlandish, off the wall, just massive content push on promoting your facility and your staff? Okay. And of course, we already talked about the schedule. So you got to be able to do that. Okay. Next, you're going to look at the staff training. Is your staff trained? Like, do they know the latest and greatest stuff? Is it marketable? Can you sell it? In gymnastics, everyone fears the word sales. But I'd hate to tell you, everybody that you put on the floor of your gym is a salesman. They're a salesman. They sell every day. What do they sell? They sell belief. Belief in that they can teach this child how to do this sport. They teach this child that they can teach them how to overcome fears and do that pullover. I mean, let's face it, they're salesmen. They energize those kids. They do it in a fun way. They break those skills down. They do the stations. They're salesmen. Okay, they're your best salesmen. In fact, they'll make or break a class, staff training. If they're not trained and they don't know how to explain things to parents in a very simple way. They don't understand how to work with the kids in a fun, energetic way. Maybe they need staff training. And there's a lot of different things. USA Gymnastics offers the regional congresses, the national congresses, GAT. We do a great service at GAT, whereas in the classroom, there's also a big hands-on and training for most of the sports, men's, women's, TNT. I mean, it's all there at GAT. I would suggest going and getting registered for that. Very affordable, a very fun weekend, and you'll get to be a lot of gymnastics people and talk about things that are working well in their gyms that might also help you figure out how to solve this problem and move this program over to the category of working well. So staff training. Next, staff. Look at this, evaluate your staff. Okay, this is tough. Most of the time staff becomes friends, and we're a really tight-knit family, and it's really hard when you have to move staff around and make those decisions about, well, is this staff person really capable of doing this particular job? And sometimes they're just not. And sometimes you have to face that fact. They're just not. And sometimes you have to let them know that, hey, this isn't working for either one of us, and I need to move you over here, or I have to dismiss you. It's a tough situation. Yet if you're really, really, really intentional about building your business and growing your entire program, you're going to have to evaluate your staff. You're going to have to do it in a very logical and realistic manner, and you're going to have to make those tough calls. And sometimes it's just shifting one staff around with another, and you can make it all work and keep the staff in place. Because sometimes staff is valuable working with the teams, where they're not valuable working with the classes. They just don't do classes well. Sometimes they do recreational classes really well, but they don't do preschool. And preschool is a tough area where you have to have a special personality. So look at your staff. What is the situation with the staff? If you have to hire some new staff, then you're going to need to start looking and figuring that out as to how you're going to get those new staff people in there. And like I said in a few minutes ago, finding staff is very tough, very tough. So finding good staff is even harder. Finding great staff is not impossible, but it's going to be tough. So you have to identify it, and you have to be very specific about what you need from that staff person and what you're looking for in the characteristics and the value system of that staff to make sure they fit into your gym and make sure they'll fit into your program and get you the results you want. The last thing on the list we're going to look at is marketing. Remember what I said when we looked at the schedule. Can you sell it? Is it a time that people want to come? Is it something that the demographics will support? Okay, we went right up in there to the equipment. Okay, is the equipment in the gym space, is it something that's sellable? Can you promote it? Can you market it? Can you do really cool little short videos and send them out on Instagram? Can you pop out the little things on your Facebook page and make people interested about what's going on in your facility? Do you have the time to do that? And that's a big thing. Marketing is not hard. It just takes time. So you identify those things, and then staff. Okay, can you market and sell your staff? Okay, people buy people. They don't buy products and services. Gymnastics folks are all the time trying to sell. Every Olympic year we sell off the Olympics. Okay, the most successful gyms, they're successful whether the Olympics go or the Olympics don't go. They're still producing kids, and they're still driving a lot of traffic into their facilities, and they're still setting a benchmark that most of us can't keep up with. And why is that? Well, they learned the very simple fact that people buy people. Okay, you have to be able to sell your staff. Your staff has to be the ones that you're promoting, and you have to be able to take your ego and check it in your office. Okay, because your staff works for you. Your staff is part and an extension of you. They represent you. So if you are the person that has to have all the glory and the credit, well, maybe you're in the wrong seat on the bus, because you're going to have to check that ego in the office and get that staff person and utilize their talents and get them selling the program. People buy people. Okay, and they'll buy you too, but they're going to buy you as a gym owner, as the gym manager, as the person that facilitates everything. They're not going to buy you as the coach and the instructor. You have to differentiate. You have to do that. And remember, people buy people. So be comfortable and confident about having your coaches promote your products and services and the programs you're trying to build, especially preschool and recreational. You have to have a person that's the front of that and the face of that. And it's really important to make sure you identify that. So in your marketing tab, you're going to put down some different things. Number one, five Facebook live posts per week. Minimum 5. They're not long, they're short. Okay, when I talk short, I'm talking about anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, not very long, just something to give people a glimpse of what's going on, and for you to promote your coaches and the kids having fun and doing that particular activity for the program that you're promoting. Instagram, at least 10 posts per week. That's 2 a day. Okay, take some pictures, make some memes. They're not hard to do. You can even add it to the stories and it goes away in 24 hours, but it's very popular, especially with younger families and younger parents. I shouldn't say that, but it is more popular with them than it is some of the older ones. However, even people in my age group demographic are very into the stories, the Instagram and Facebook stories. We'll check those out. Hey, what are people up to? And if you can promote your business to that, it's a cheap, easy, simple, free way to do so. And I highly recommend it. Twitter, I would blow up Twitter, and I would Twitter, you can put out basically 2 to 3 posts per hour if you're really sophisticated. I like to use Crowdfire app. It's you load them in and you set it and it runs. Okay. Use your social medias, and make sure that they're always posting something. And over the weekend is the best time to post those things, because that's where the analytics show us that a lot of folks starting Friday night, Friday afternoon, and going through the weekend, where they spend the most time on social media. So easy stuff. Okay. In your marketing, I personally wouldn't do a lot of print advertising or marketing. It just is very low return. It costs a lot. Some people still find it effective in certain demographics. And if you're in one of those demographics that isn't as modern as like the Houston area, then maybe the print would work for you. Maybe you could do a mailer. They're expensive though. They cost. Even some of the better companies, it's still a little bit of money to get that out and you have to buy the zip code and the addresses and everything. You can do it, and it does work to a point, but probably not as good as some of these other services like running Facebook ads. Facebook ads are really, really cost effective, and you can get down to the specific demographic that you want. You can even identify the type of person you want, like families and families with children. You can identify a lot of these things. So the marketing plan doesn't have to be sophisticated. Okay. Now I'm going to get off that topic for 1 minute, but stay on the topic. Okay. Because a number of people said this is really good stuff. And really this plan that we just put together, that we just looked at, is for your fall semester. You're going into the fall. Okay. It's not really made for right now today, because there's some things that are going to have to take place and you're going to have to get traction. Traction is going to take a little while when you start putting out the content. It's not a magical thing that you start putting out videos on Facebook and people start walking in the door. Do not think that that's going to happen. If it does, hey, bonus. But it's not going to. It's just not realistic. It's going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks even to start seeing any people get traction to this, because you haven't been in the market. Most likely you've been putting out random things, not very focused, and just cluttering up your social sphere there with random thoughts and random things. And now you're going to get intentional and strategic, and you start focusing on a program. Okay, it's just one program. Just stay on task, because I'm telling you, that one program will get all the low-hanging fruit. Whatever you're doing well, you'll get more of that too. just by focusing on the one program. Sounds illogical, but it works. I promise. Focus on the one program. You're trying to move over to the doing well column, and make sure that you're doing the checklist. Now, summer programming, you only have what, 6 weeks till summer, 5 weeks till summer. If you want to make an impact, start putting out massive amounts of content right now, today, on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. People tell me Snapchat's dead. Snapchat is not dead. Okay, there's still some wicked amount of billion of posts or snaps a day. Snapchat is not dead. A lot of people use it. You'd be surprised who you'll find on Snapchat. But you can do those little snaps, and they're easy, they're quick, they post fast. It's just a simple way to get a message out. Instagram stories, very effective, because it will also go to your Facebook or your Facebook page, whichever you tell it. So be conscious of those things, but start putting out massive amounts of content. And what do you put what is the content about? How much fun you're having in the gym, and how much fun you're going to have this summer by doing whatever that program is. Are you doing summer camp? Tell them. If you're doing recreational fun days, like every Friday is an open gym, and you're doing this massive open gym, you're gonna have bounce houses and all kinds of crap in there. Tell them exactly what you're doing. Let them know. They've got to figure it out, and they're not gonna figure it out by looking on your website. Your website is not gonna happen. Most people's websites are overblown and too complicated and complex, especially in the gymnastics industry. Find a lot of people spend a lot of money on websites, and then they don't know what to do with them because they don't know what to do with them. And it's like, well, my team uses this part. Well, that's great. That's what, 200 kids max that you're using out of your whole 800. Wow. Okay. Waste of money and time. So we can talk about that another day too. Looking at this, massive amounts of content specific for summer programs, but do it in your gym where the kids are having fun, and they can kind of see some of the activities you're doing and some of the things, and they can see the facility. If there's a particular coach that's going to lead these activities, have them do the videos. If they're not good or comfortable with it, then talk to them, let them know, hey, just be goofy and silly. No, I'm just kidding. If they're not comfortable with it, then you're going to have to go with plan B, and it'll have to be you. However, if you can include them in their face and have them waving high and making faces, then it will help promote that program for the summer. Massive amounts of content. You have to put out massive amounts of content. You've only got 5 weeks, and you have to drive them to a place where they can register and pay for whatever you're doing. Okay, so if it's a summer camp, make sure that you're sending them to a Facebook page where they can click a button and register right then and there. If it's a web page, make sure they send them right there and they can register and pay. Don't have a long, complex, drawn out process for them to get their kids signed up. That's a deal killer. They're going to move on to your competition. If they can't figure it out, they're moving on. Someone else offers this too, maybe not as good, but we're going to go there because these people are crazy and overcomplicated something that should be simple. So, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. It went like 23 minutes. I'm sorry. There's a lot of information in here. Couldn't get it into a small video. I'll do some small Instagram things. I'll put them out on. Let's put them out on Bryan Kaiser. Let's put them on Bryan Kaiser. Bryan_Kaiser, Kiser. I dropped the A. My family didn't like that one, I guess. So Bryan Kaiser, I'll do that. It'll feed to my Facebook page, where you can find that at /Houston Muscle. So you can look at those posts there. Bryan and Bryan TV, Bryan and Bryan Gymnastics TV on Facebook, and I'll start putting out little snippets of this stuff and break it down into little pieces while I do those videos. But here it is in the entirety. Look at it, Planner Pro. It is an awesome little app. I love it. It keeps everything in one place, and it sets reminders. It has your calendar. You can take notes. If you're a paperless person, this is the deal right here. This is the Franklin Covey organizer all on your phone, and you'll love it. So Planner Pro. No, I don't have an affiliate with them. I should, but I don't. But we'll get to work on that later. So Next up, we'll be checking on the plan, and we'll do several videos on checking on the plan, so you'll learn how to benchmark this, so you'll know if it's working or not. Right now, for your summer, remember, massive amounts of content. Get started now.